are at 9. Co-presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Co-powered by Qatar Airways, the SBI Mutual Fund and Sera.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an oft-repeated adage that a picture speaks louder than words. And in politics, optics go a long way in creating perceptions that can make or break electoral fortunes. Today, not one but two pictures have emerged that could pretty much set the narrative for 2024 Mahabharat. Both images speak of ethics and cash and pose questions that opposition may find very difficult to answer. On the left of your screens, you can see what income tax officials have found as they raided properties linked to Congress leader and Rajya Sabha member of Parliament Dheeraj Sahu. The agency conducted raids at 25 locations across 3 states and at one location in Odisha found so much cash that even counting machines gave up while trying to put a figure to it. As we speak, 300 crores have been counted. Latest count just seconds ago that we've received. But the figure is likely to go up because there are several cupboards yet to be opened. Now, let's come to the other picture. This is also related to cash, the cash for query saga in Parliament. Today, after Lok Sabha approved ethic panel's recommendations to expel Trinamool Congress Member of Parliament Mahua Moitra, she walked out of the Parliament flanked by Sonia Gandhi among other India Alliance leaders. A firm message to the ruling dispensation that the charge may have been of impropriety and compromising national security and a probe may be pending, but the opposition will issue a clean chit to Mahua Moitra and play its templated victim card. Now, why did I say these visuals will raise questions that the opposition will find difficult to answer? Look at Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tweet this morning referring to 157 bags full of cash linked to Congress Member of Parliament Dheeraj Sahu. And how close he is to Rahul Gandhi, you can find out from these pictures. This is Dheeraj Sahu walking with Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra, hand in hand, quite literally. And then these are visuals of Rahul Gandhi and Dheeraj Sahu with a bouquet, and then pictures of Dheeraj Sahu with with Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. Now, the Prime Minister deftly highlighted in his tweet opposition's graft and his guarantee, thundering that he will ensure that every single penny will be recovered, and that is Modi ki guarantee. He said, and I quote, "Janta se jo loota hai uski pai pai lautani padegi." Prime Minister asked the voters, what do they make of this hypocrisy? The query over cash and corruption has already been answered by the voters in the recently concluded elections of 5 states. They voted for Modi's guarantee of clean governance and rejected Lal Diary and betting scams in Chhattisgarh linked to topmost leaders in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh states. Remember, Dheeraj Sahu is not a fly-by-night Congress member either. He is a 3-time Rajya Sabha member of Parliament and a Bharat Jodo Yatri who matched steps with Rahul Gandhi. Will his alleged assets be a liability for the Congress party and its allies? When we posed this question to India Alliance partners, asking them how could they still allege a witch hunt by the agencies when evidence was irrefutable and in black and white, look at how they chose to answer or avoid.
आईटी रेट्स पे क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर? सर 300 करोड़ की राशि इकट्ठी हुई है सर, 300 करोड़। अब पीएम ने भी ट्वीट करते हुए बोला है सर कि जनता का लूट के ये पैसा इकट्ठा किया गया है, कुछ कहना चाहेंगे सर? सर आईटी रेट्स पे कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
प्रधानमंत्री ने ट्वीट किया है कि सर भ्रष्टाचार को लेकर अभी नेता बोलेंगे 200 करोड़ रुपए जो है काउंटिंग हो चुकी है धीरज साहू के यहाँ। आप लोग अलायंस के पार्टनर है, क्या उसको भी डिनाई करेंगे कि वो पैसे कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता के नहीं है?
आप अपना नैरेटिव किसी और कहीं और चलाइए। थैंक यू।
आप अपना नैरेटिव कहीं और चलाइए। जनता का नैरेटिव नहीं है। जनता, they don't need to answer to. The question now is, these netas can run away from our cameras and our mics, but can these leaders also run away from the electorate? Can they counter Prime Minister's guarantee in practice? Can they claim witch hunt and escape accountability? Listen in to what the BJP has to say.
कांग्रेस ने तिजोरियों में छपाई, और ये छिपाई और छपाई, मेरा सीधा सवाल किसी और से नहीं, माननीय राहुल गांधी जी और सोनिया गांधी से है। आखिर कांग्रेस ने कहां-कहां काली कमाई और कहां-कहां नोट की छपाई ये कर रखी है। आज बड़ा सवाल ये खड़ा होता है कि बार बार नोटबंदी के खिलाफ और काले धन के खिलाफ राहुल गांधी जी और सोनिया गांधी जी क्यों बोलते हैं? बैग कम पड़ गए, बोरियां भी कम पड़ गई, लेकिन कांग्रेस की काली कमाई की गिनती जारी अभी भी जारी है।
95% केसेस जो ईडी सीबीआई के हो रहे हैं कनेक्शन।
मोहब्बत की दुकान पर करप्शन का कारोबार चल रहा है। कांग्रेस के आला कमान को, गांधी खानदान को, देश को ये बतलाना होगा कि उनके एक सांसद के 10 ठिकानों से 200 करोड़ रुपए जो बरामद हुए और काउंटिंग अभी जारी है, ये कांग्रेस का नेता गांधी खानदान में किसका एटीएम था? अब तक कांग्रेस पार्टी ने चुप्पी साध रखी है। ये भी सुनने में आया अखबारों से कि पैसा इतना पड़ा था लूट का कांग्रेस के इस नेता के घर में कि काउंटिंग की मशीनें तक टूट गईं। जैसे कि मैंने कहा, मोहब्बत की दुकान पर करप्शन का जो कारोबार चल रहा है, ये कौन है जिसका एटीएम बनकर कांग्रेस का ये नेता उभरा है?
पार्टी का पैसा नहीं होता है। अगर कोई व्यक्ति गलत कर रहा हो और उसके वहाँ ईडी की कार्रवाई हो रही हो तो उससे किसको परेशानी होगी? वो तो एजेंसी अपना काम कर रही है। लेकिन प्रतिशोध के तहत जब आप कार्रवाई करते हैं तो स्वाभाविक सवाल उठता है। और पिक एंड चूज जब करते हैं, जब ईडी की छापेमारी के तहत सजा हो जाए, कार्रवाई हो जाए और वह महाराष्ट्र में दुलरुआ बन जाए तो सवाल तो उठेगा।
So the legitimate question we are asking on the news hour tonight, is it Modi's guarantee versus opposition's impropriety that the voters will have to pick from? That's the question and that's the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me on the debate, Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP, Suhail Seth, columnist, market guru, author. Also joining me this evening, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Manoj Yadav, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. But my first question goes to Dr. Sanjay Jha, my friend, author, suspended Congress leader, but the only one on my channel to answer questions that we love to pose to the Congress Party. And Sanjay Jha, embarrassing for the Congress Party that one of their MPs and his companies and relatives' companies are connected to a cash haul, which the latest tally tells us is about 300 crores and counting. Bags, almirahs full of that cash. You know, obscene amount of cash that is seen. I've never seen it in my 30 years of journalism. The last one that beat all the records and set the bar high was the hall at Partha Chatterjee's AIDS residence, about 52 crores. This time, you know, it's just several times over that number. Sanjay Jha and the Congress Party doesn't even think it's important to make one statement on corruption when you speak so much about the wrongs that are happening in the Modi Sarkar?
No, Navika, I think that's a very relevant point. Even I have not seen so much of money on a screen ever. So I want to, address the fundamental points of today's debate. It also reminded me, for example, of the 7.62 crores that was recovered from the son of a BJP MLA, and the Lokayukta in Karnataka was able to nail that case. I have no idea where it has gone. What is Mr. Modi's government doing about it? I have no clue at all. But I want to make 2 points here, very, very relevant. When Mr. Modi and Mr. Thakur जो बड़े भाषण देते हैं, जरा आपके माध्यम से नाविका जी मैं उनको भी पूछना चाहूंगा कि जरा ये बताइए कि कर्नाटका में वहां की आवाम ने ये 40% सरकारों को क्यों हरा दिया? ये 40% सरकार क्यों कहा? वो भ्रष्टाचार नहीं था, वो काला धन नहीं था, तो भ्रष्टाचार पे भाषण देना ये तो पाखंडी राजनीति का एक ये दर्शाता है। दूसरी बात, ये इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड जो है, which I think is the source of political corruption, जहां पर भाजपा को सबसे ज्यादा पैसा मिलता है, उनके प्रवक्ता, उनके नेता मोदी जी इतने डरते क्यों हैं? वो इतने भयभीत हैं, किसी को बताना नहीं चाहते कि उनको ये पैसा देता कौन? क्योंकि भ्रष्टाचार को जो बड़ा जो पहाड़ है, वो ज्वालामुखी की तरफ जब फूटेगा तो दुनिया देखेगी कि पिछले 10 साल की इस देश में वो क्या था है। तीसरी बात, ये अदानी जी को लेके पारदर्शिता या अब छानबीन जेपीसी के थ्रू करने में ये सरकार की डरपोक के जैसा भक्ति क्यों है? यहाँ उनके तो हर नेता, हर प्रवक्ता लगता है कि वो तो अदानी जी के वकील हैं। प्रधानमंत्री पर प्रश्न उठाया गया है, प्रधानमंत्री को भ्रष्टाचार पे नहीं बोलना चाहिए। बताता हूँ एक और चौथा आपको उदाहरण दूंगा, डिमोनेटाइजेशन। ये पूरा देश तबाह हो गया, अर्थव्यवस्था संकट काल की परिस्थिति पर पहुंच गया, परंतु किसी को मालूम नहीं होगी काला धन था किसके, या हो सकता है बहुत लोगों को मालूम था पहले से ही कि ये काला धन गया कहाँ है। आखिरी में आपको ये बताना चाहूंगा नाविका, दैट इज द पर्टिनेंट पॉइंट। इफ यू लुक एट एन इंडियन इलेक्शन, एंड आई विल गिव यू अ पर्सनल एनेक्डोट हियर, इफ यू लुक एट एन इंडियन इलेक्शन नाविका, look at the 2019 data confirmed by multiple sources. India spent 60,000 crores on that election. 60,000 crores on electoral bonds, which Mr. Modi's government says is a very legitimate.
Dr. Sanjay Jha, I'm extremely pained to intervene. I'm extremely pained to intervene. It's almost making me look like squint-eyed. I'm asking you a question on the 300 crores. You're giving me motherhood statements starting from 2016 onwards. We've debated demo, we've debated many things. Today the question is so straight. But you're looking London, going Tokyo. The fact of the matter is 300 crore ये कहाँ से आए, इस पर कोई जवाब नहीं है। भाषण इतना लंबा। शहजाद पूनावाला, I'm coming to you Suhail, but शहजाद पूनावाला, charges after charges made against the Prime Minister, but not one word on the 300 crore. मशीनें गरम हो गई, टूट गई, couldn't work, counting them. And this is country liquor that was being sold in these states, and these are poor people who actually buy that country liquor. I'm actually going to raise the moral question here as well. Poor people pay for this. Homes are destroyed because of the sale of this liquor, and from that liquor there is this cash of 300 crores, and we are talking about demo.
नाविका जी देखिए, स्वाभाविक सी बात है कि 3 दिसंबर का मेल्टडाउन एक हफ्ते तो चलेगा, और खासकर आपके शो पे आएंगे तो पिछली बार डेमोक्रेसी के प्रति मेल्टडाउन था, अब और भी मेल्टडाउन चलता रहेगा। तो 8 ही तारीख हुई है, अब और 10 दिन लगेगा। एनीवे, कैश फॉर क्वेरी से लेकर कैश की अलमारी, नाविका कल्पना कीजिए कि 156 बैगें लग गई और फिर भी उसमें कैश फिट नहीं हो पा रहा है। दिस इज केस ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करप्शन, मतलब कि घोटाले की गारंटी। आपने कभी देखा नहीं होगा कि इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करप्शन क्या होता है, जिसमें ये लोग बोलते हैं कि शिष्टाचार है मेरा भ्रष्टाचार, भ्रष्टाचार करने का मुझे अधिकार, कोई पकड़ेगा तो मैं चिल्लाऊंगा अत्याचार अत्याचार और खेलूंगा विक्टिमहुड कार्ड। कैन यू इमेजिन नाविका दैट 300 crores has been come from one MP, 52 MPs, how much money will come out? Now the other point is that this is not one-off. Jharkhand government is known for institutionalizing other corruption also. Mining घोटाला, land scam घोटाला, शराब घोटाला, there is a कोयला, there's a मनरेगा घोटाला, rural development fund घोटाला, and this is not just Jharkhand. This was the story just 2 weeks back of Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, where we kept saying that Congress treats its states or state governments as ATM, and therefore this model can yet again be seen in Jharkhand. But I have 3 questions. One, Rahul Gandhi, who says ये बटन दबाया तो पैसा अडानी के पास जाता है. भाई ये दारू की घूंट ली तो ये पैसा किसके पास जा रहा है? आपने लास्ट शो में बोला है ये भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में चल रहे थे, पता नहीं ये भारत जोड़ो है, ये भ्रष्टाचारी जोड़ो है. भ्रष्टाचार जुड़ाओ और कैश पाओ. राहुल गांधी अभी तक क्यों नहीं बोले? इन्होंने कर्नाटक के एमएलए का बोला. कर्नाटक के एमएलए के बेटे के घर जो मिला उसको अरेस्ट करने वाली लोकायुक्ता की पुलिस थी और उस विधायक को टिकट काटा गया. क्या सोनिया गांधी ऐसा निर्णय लेने को तैयार है? संजय झा जी बताइए मुझे. और आखिरी बात, देखिए 40%, 50% अब हो गए चुनाव, वो सारे चुनाव निकल गए, आपका वो झूठ साबित हुआ. मध्य प्रदेश सरकार रिपीट हुई, दोनों सरकारें आपकी डिलीट हुई. आज आप केवल इतना कहिए कि क्या इस सांसद पर आम आदमी पार्टी क्यों नहीं बोल रही है? यहां पर कोई और इंडी गठबंधन का क्यों नहीं बोला? क्योंकि इन सभी लोगों ने टीएमसी का एसएससी घोटाला, पहाड़ ऑफ करप्शन, टू मच करप्शन, आईएनसी के तो लगातार एनएच नेशनल हेल्थ स्कैम किया हुआ है राहुल गांधी ने, वो क्या ही बोलेंगे इनको. और आम आदमी पार्टी भी शराब घोटाला करके बैठी है, इसलिए वो चुप है.
भाई मेरे चैनल पे आम आदमी पार्टी आती नहीं है. पर आज मैं शीश महल उजागर करने
आज
का
मैं आपको साधुवाद दूंगा. आपने विवेक जी को बुलाया और देखना विवेक जी जो लेफ्ट के बड़े नेता जेएनयू से, वो अब बोलेंगे कि महुआ मोइत्रा ने कैसे करप्शन किया है.
Well, I will only say there is nobody from the Aam Aadmi Party. They don't come on our channel because we expose Sheesh Mahal. But Sanjay Jha, you know this one, there is no
Sanjay Jha
space.
is a suspended member. How much time do suspended members get as panelists compared to other panelists? Is there a deep discount given, or what is the issue here? I'm just trying to understand for my good friend's sake.
Because the charge was made, I was just being democratic. But if you think democracy is an old-fashioned idea, then I can skip him and come to you. But Sanjay Jha, 30.
As Sanjay Jha would tell you to quote Churchill, it's the worst form of government, but the only one we have. Go ahead, Sanjay.
Navika is clear, suspended or unsuspended. I make so many people tremble and nervous. I'm actually feeling very good about myself. Thank you for the unintended compliment. Let me answer you very quickly. You know, Navika, this was the point I was making, and I'll tell you why all political parties are guilty. In the 2019 elections, the amount of money spent by all sources was estimated between 55 to 60,000 crores. Okay, a lot of money matched the US presidential election. In electoral bonds, in 5 years, you raised 16,000 crores. Now, here is the question. The gap is 44,000 crores. You think one party is doing black money? Everybody is in the game. 44,000 crores is the black money in an election.
Well, I take objection. I take objection to your reference to this as a game. And Suhail said, I want to get you in. Everybody is in the game, so it's fair. Yes. You know, Janta be damned, public be damned. It's a game politicians play, so we should not ask question. Suhail said, is that the way the cookie crumbles?
So the ridiculousness of the argument lies in its whataboutery. It is no one's contention that the BJP is as pure as the driven snow and the Congress is the only corrupt party. No one's contention. But to constantly condone the corruption of the Congress by saying, but other people are also corrupt, it's a stupid argument. And it has no tenacity and it has no purpose. I have 4 points to make. Number one, I said this on your channel when Partha Chatterjee was raided, that when people said, oh, ED is vindictive, ED found cash. They didn't exactly go and plant Sandesh, and the Sandesh by PC Sarkar's magic converted to cash. There was cash there, as there is cash in Sahu's house. Should we be castigating these people? The answer is yes. Number two, Sanjay Jha talks about electoral bonds. Yes, that's an issue that's been highlighted, foisted upon the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has whether gone into it, not gone into it, has been seized of the matter. Let the courts adjudicate on issues that are contentious rather than let TV channels and TV debates do that. Number three, it is no one's argument that corruption in India belongs to only one section of society. But should we not have an agenda of snuffing it out? The answer is obvious, we should. If people are found with their hands in the till, it doesn't, Navika, matter whether that money came from country liquor or it came from sewage pipes. The reality is that it is illegal, unfounded, and has no substance legally of being there. That in itself is an absolute shame. The fourth, and this is where I want to highlight a particular issue. Just like the BJP, the Congress also keeps talking about corruption, corruption, corruption. Why are they silent today? I'd have given Rahul Gandhi full marks if he had actually stepped up to the plate and said, until investigation, we are, no pun intended, suspending Deepak Sahu. That would have, to my mind, been a tremendous stroke of genius. Because what would have happened is he would have shown leadership in snuffing out corruption. But that's his prerogative. He's the leader of the party. He's entitled to do that. My limited point is that this country cannot afford public corruption of the kind that we have seen over time. People have accused the BJP of being a laundry machine. The BJP has neither denied it nor accepted it. People are today seeing what's happening with money being found at politicians' homes. You remember the good old days of Sukhram? You remember the 1 crore suitcase for Narasimha Rao with Harshad Mehta? We have had a history, but we can't go back to history to say that, oh, we had it in the past, so therefore it's justified now. The country has moved on. Today, people are going to be accountable, and for all the right reasons that you mentioned, whether machines work or don't work. You know, I'll tell you one thing. I have hated them, but the one thing you could have always said about the communists was that they weren't corrupt. You know, and if they were, their maximum corruption was an extra sandesh or a very ill-gotten soggy samosa. Because I'm talking about the Bengal experience. Today, it's 300 crores is then being, you know, indexed to, okay, but iske ghar mein to utna mila tha. Now, for 300 crores to be found, Sanjay and Manoj and Vivek and Shiraz, can you imagine the amount of margin? If 300 crores is the margin of money that's coming into one particular individual's house, can you imagine the actual scale of corruption?
Absolutely. And how much would that guy be earning if 300 is the underhand? Because it's unaccounted for, I assume it's underhand.
And the reason Rahul can't speak is because he himself is accused in the national health scam of scamming the country of 5,000 crores. And by the way, Pinarayi Vijayan, Suhail, you've forgotten about Pinarayi Vijayan. His own daughter has been accused by Congress party of corruption.
Shehzad, you forgot Bangaru Lakshman.
And he resigned. He resigned. Very good, Sanjay.
He resigned. He went to jail.
He went to jail also. He resigned. Now, Sanjay, you tell me about Sahu.
But let me get in Manoj ji.
You have to allow me also. Sanjay Jha, former party's finance minister at that time, P. Chidambaram famously said, in India, there are only sick industries, no sick industrialists. It was Chidambaram's quote. I will paraphrase that saying today, that the Congress as a party may be broke, but congressmen are rich. That's it. That's the limited point.
Well, let me get in Manoj Yadav ji. Manoj Yadav ji, मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है, आप पिछड़ों की राजनीति करते हैं, गरीबों की राजनीति करते हैं। जब इस तरह का कैश बंडल पे बंडल गिर रहे हो, अलमारियों से बैग्स में भरे जा रहे हो, मतलब बेतहाशा पैसा, आप ये सोचिए जिसके घर में 2 वक्त की रोटी नहीं है, वो क्या सोचता होगा ये पैसे देखकर कि पॉलिटिशियंस के पास इतने पैसे हैं? क्या ये हमारे पॉलिटिशियंस हैं जो हम पर राज कर रहे हैं? और क्या हमें इस पर सवाल भी नहीं उठाने चाहिए? हमें ऐसा ही कहना चाहिए, अरे मिले हैं कोई बात नहीं, इनको छोड़ो, आप जवाब दो कि आप ईडी क्यों भेजते हो हमारे घर, आप सीबीआई क्यों भेजते हो हमारे घर? मैं आपसे आज बिल्कुल जनता के सवाल पूछ रही हूं। पब्लिक के दिमाग में ये क्या जाएगा कि ये पॉलिटिशियंस रोज हमारे लिए कानून बनाते हैं, इन पर कोई कानून लागू है या नहीं, और फिर ये कहते हैं कि ईडी सीबीआई वेंडेटा और बदले की राजनीति फॉरवर्ड करते हैं। अरे वो जाते हैं तो पैसा मिलता है ना मनोज जी?
बिल्कुल सही कहा नविका जी, और ये बड़ा गंभीर मुद्दा है, और ऐसा मुद्दा अगर देश में नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार के सामने इस तरह के मुद्दे लगभग हर महीने आ रहे हैं, तो मैं थोड़ा सा हतप्रभ हूं कि इसका मतलब प्रयास अभी सही दिशा में नहीं हो पा रहा है। क्योंकि मुझे याद आता है इससे पूर्व में कर्नाटक की बात, जैसा कि हमारे संजय झा जी ने की, कर्नाटक में 8 करोड़ रुपए बीजेपी के विधायक के यहाँ मिले थे। तो इसके बाद फिर ये वाले आ गए। इससे पहले भी तमाम सारे केसेस आए हैं। तो मैं थोड़ा सा हतप्रभ हूं कि क्या नरेंद्र मोदी जी जो प्रयास कर रहे हैं भारत को भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त बनाने का, वो सफल नहीं होता नजर आ रहा है। लेकिन एक बड़ी बात मैं कहना चाहता हूं, आज नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ट्वीट किया, नोटों के बंडल वाला ट्वीट, माफ करिएगा, एक्स पोस्ट पे आए और ये खबर आई सामने, अच्छा लगा मुझे। लेकिन मेरे जहन में वही फिर दिमाग चला ही जाता है कहीं ना कहीं। मुझे याद आता है लालू प्रसाद जी के पास स्विस बैंक में 30,000 करोड़ रुपए थे। संसद में ये बातें कही जाती थी। नमिका जी आपको बेहतर ध्यान होगा, 30,000 करोड़, वनली सिंगल मैन लालू प्रसाद यादव। और कितनी लंबी लिस्ट बीजेपी के नेता लेके चलते थे स्विस बैंक वाला, जिसका वादा आपके हिस्से का भी 15 लाख की लड़ाई मैं लड़ रहा हूं और इस पैनल में जितने बैठे सबके हिस्से की लड़ाई मैं ही लड़ूंगा। 15-15 लाख रुपए देने की बात कही थी। कहा था नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने कि सारा काला धन आएगा, एक भी नहीं आया। सारे मोदीज लेके पैसा भाग गए, विजय माल्या लेके भाग गया, वो कोई वापस नहीं आया। क्यों नहीं आया? मोदी जी को ट्वीट तो वो करना चाहिए, वो आंकड़े बताने चाहिए, क्योंकि देश तो अब अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पे पहचान बना चुका है ना। 300 करोड़ रुपए नॉट ए बिग अमाउंट मेरे हिसाब से। जहां 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी की बात हो रही हो, मेरे ख्याल से वो खर्चे के बराबर भी नहीं। लेकिन एक पिक्चर और मुझे ध्यान आती है।
नहीं 300 करोड़ नॉट अ बिग अमाउंट। हमें सवाल नहीं पूछना चाहिए,
भागता है,
हमें सवाल नहीं पूछना चाहिए।
लालू प्रसाद जी के 30,000 करोड़ के।
अच्छा
ना बिल्कुल पूछिए।
तो 300 करोड़ पर हमने सवाल 300 करोड़ पर हमने सवाल पूछा। अब शायद हमें भी हथकड़ी लगनी चाहिए कि हमने इतना छोटा और इतना इररिस्पॉन्सिबल सवाल क्यों पूछा।
देखिए मैं
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं
नाविका जी, मैं
रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है
नाविका जी, क्योंकि आपने मुझ पे इशारा किया तो मैं
नहीं, क्या आप क्या कहना चाह रहे थे?
आपको क्यों बीच में कूद जाते हो भाई?
नहीं मनोज जी, आप क्या कह रहे हैं?
भाई साहब पहले तो आप अपनी भाषा संभालिए। नाविका ने मुझे बोलने के लिए बोला। नाविका इस प्रकार की शब्दावली होगी तो मैं भी इनको औकात बता सकता हूँ। मैं अपने शो की गरिमा को मेंटेन करता हूँ। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हर एक व्यक्ति मेरी अनुशासन का फायदा गलत उठाएगा। यदि मैं इनको इनकी हैसियत और औकात दिखाना शुरू कर दूं तो ये भाग जाएंगे डिबेट से। इसलिए नाविका जी आप संचालन कीजिए और जो नए नए आए
ना कोई नया ना कोई पुराना, सबसे पुरानी मैं हूँ। एक मिनट मनोज जी चलिए वो भी नहीं
और आ जाते हैं डिबेट करने। फिर
शहजाद पूनावाला जी रोकिए अपने आप को। नहीं आप
संभल के बात करना। शहजाद पूनावाला,
मनोज जी देखिए ना, आप जैसे रोज मिलते हैं मुझे, ऐसे आपके रोज मिलते हैं भाई साहब। इतने तो हम लोग रोज ऐसे ही देख लेते हैं रास्ते पे, सड़क पे खड़े होते हैं। मैं आपके मुंह में नहीं लगता भाई।
आपको जो मिर्ची लग रही है ना,
एक मिनट
इसलिए आपको मिर्ची लगती है।
अच्छा मनोज जी, मैं आपसे दरखास्त करूंगी हम मुद्दे पर लौटते हैं क्योंकि मुद्दा है गरीबों का और 300 करोड़ का। 300 करोड़ आप कह रहे हैं बहुत बड़ा अमाउंट नहीं है। मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूं फिर क्या बड़ा होता है?
30,000 करोड़ जो लालू प्रसाद जी का जमा है स्विस बैंक में काले धन के रूप में, और तमाम सारे देश के नेताओं का, राहुल गांधी का, हमारे आदरणीय नेताजी का भी उसमें, सारे नेताओं का।
ठीक है, आपने मुद्दा रेज किया। अब मैं शहजाद जी से कहूंगी इस पर जवाब कब आएगा?
देखिए ऐसा है, जिनका राजनीतिक चरित्र ये रहे कि वो घर की टोटियां भी चोरी करते हैं, तो हो सकता है उनके लिए 300 करोड़ कोई बड़ी अमाउंट नहीं है। वो तो टोटी भी चोरी करके ले जाते हैं। परंतु सवाल ये है, लालू और बाकी लोगों की लिस्ट लेकर अरविंद, देखिए बीच में बोल पड़े। अब कौन बीच में कूद पड़ रहा है? अब बीच में कौन कूद पड़ रहा है?
मनोज जी अब मैं फेडर डाउन कर रही हूँ। ऐसे हमारे व्यूअर्स सुन नहीं पाएंगे, तो मैं फेडर डाउन कर रही हूं। आप अपनी बात खत्म करें।
देखिए लालू जी हो, मुलायम जी हो, सोनिया जी हो, राहुल जी हो, ऐसे लोगों की लिस्ट लेकर अरविंद केजरीवाल घुमा करते थे। और लालू जी 4 बार कोर्ट के द्वारा कन्विक्टेड है मान्यवर। तो बता दीजिए कि कोर्ट ने उनको जो कन्विक्ट किया वो सही किया या गलत किया। आप जाकर कोर्ट से पूछ लीजिए। 30,000 करोड़ रिकवर हुए या 2000 करोड़ रिकवर हुए या कितने गौ माता का चारा खाकर कितना अपना घर बना लिया, वो जाकर आप कोर्ट से पूछ लीजिए मनोज जी। परंतु सवाल आज ये है कि जब सामने कैश पड़ा है तो उस पर भी चुप है। जब सवाल लेते पूछने के लिए कैश लिया जा रहा है, काइंड लिया जा रहा है और सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं, लॉगिन पासवर्ड उस व्यक्ति को दिया जा रहा है जो विदेश में 47 बार उससे लॉगिन किया जा रहा है और राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को खतरा पहुंचाया जा रहा है, उस पर भी मौन है। तो ये पूरे गठबंधन का चरित्र है, नो मिशन नो विजन, ओनली कमीशन एंड करप्शन। इसीलिए ये व्यक्ति जो है आज इस पे स्टैंड नहीं ले पा रहा है। लालू करप्ट है कि नहीं, मानते कि नहीं बताइए?
चलिए,
लालू करप्ट मानते कि नहीं बताइए?
लालू करप्ट है या नहीं है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट बता चुकी है और वो चुनाव भी नहीं लड़ सकते क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आ चुका है। लेकिन विवेक श्रीवास्तव जी, एक तरफ कि ये बड़ी बात नहीं है, राहुल गांधी जी का कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं, कांग्रेस पार्टी का आधिकारिक कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं, धीरज साहू जी से हमारे रिपोर्टर ने पूछा, गाड़ी बड़ी सी गाड़ी में निकलकर चले गए, जवाब देने की जरूरत नहीं, और फिर कहते हैं कि भाई हम जनता के लिए काम करते हैं, पिछड़ों के लिए काम करते हैं। ऑन द अदर हैंड, द इशू इज ऑफ महुआ मोइत्रा, द मैटर was taken by the ethics committee just like it was taken by the ethics panel in 2005 and 10 members of parliament were thrown out, they were expelled. The same procedure, exactly the same procedure followed. Once again a victim card. I want to ask you, are you only going to play victim cards or are you going to look at what concerns people? Where is this money coming from? Why were login accounts of members of parliament passed on to businessmen? Aren't these relevant questions?
Right. Very right, Navika, and I totally agree with you. And I also agree with what Sohail Bhai was saying, that what is wrong, whatever be the party, and if something wrong is happening, some cash is being discovered, we should criticize it in an equal breath. And I don't think the Congress party supports this kind of an activity. If an individual of any party has done it, that doesn't mean you start taking the whole party and start trying to hand it up. That is the first part.
The gentleman has been connected with the Congress party since 1977, and he is a 3-time member of parliament. We should not ask the Congress party a question.
I can give you 20 examples, including the youth BJP people who were linked directly with the Prime Minister. There were incidences when the Honorable Prime Minister of India was following some people on Twitter, at that time Twitter, and we know their records. So let's not go into it. You know, photo ops and parties are big today. I mean, BJP itself is a big party, Congress is a big party, there are so many people, and if somebody is wrong, wrong is wrong, but that doesn't mean you start trying to grab hold of the party leaders and say that these are the people who are involved and they are the people who are responsible. This narrative is wrong.
This narrative is wrong.
Second part, the Honorable Prime Minister of India does not have the moral right to go.
Vivek Srivastava.
Yes, absolutely it is wrong, because you are not trying to criticize the individual, you are trying to criticize the organizations, and that is where you are wrong. The Honorable Prime Minister of India has no business to be going to Twitter and trying to get mileage out of the wrongdoings of one individual when his own organization.
Vivek, I want to actually congratulate you. Can I take 10 seconds to congratulate you?
Today, Nawab Malik is going to be out. Shubhendu Adhikari is a great idea.
Vivek,
and not only that, Mr. Darshan Hiranandani is enjoying his life.
Vivek, before you digress,
and the BJP stalwarts have made a tie-up happen between Darshan Hiranandani and Adani ji.
Vivek.
And nobody is going to catch hold of him.
Vivek, you said that one person doesn't mean Congress is supporting, right? Good. So Sonia and Rahul are out on bail.
Go ahead.
Sonia and Rahul are out on bail. One person doesn't mean Congress is supporting. So when is Congress distancing itself from Sonia and Rahul are out on bail? They are actually out on bail on corruption charges and on criminality charges, which I think Mr. Sahu is not. He's been only subjected to an income tax rate today. Ha, Vivek, boliye.
No, fine. See, I mean, let the electorate, let the people decide.
Now electorate will decide.
Let the final verdict be out. If they are on bail, they are on bail at the moment. Yeah, fine. So, I mean, let's not go into it.
So, Congress is supporting them.
All right. The Congress doesn't need to answer. The India Alliance leaders don't need to answer. But they only need to play the victim card when it comes to Mahua Moitra. How fair is that, Advocate Ishkaran Bhandari?
Navika ji, I am speaking after everybody has spoken multiple times. I hope the least that will be done is I will not be interrupted and I will have my say. Thank you. I expect that will happen. See, the bigger problem is not 200 crores have been found. The bigger problem is there is a systematic attempt to delegitimize institutions, because then when a thief is caught, the cop is blamed. Then when you are caught in losing an election, you blame the election commission or the EVM. Then if you are caught doing corruption in the parliament is blamed, not the MP. Then if you lose a case in the court, the judiciary is blamed, not your own illegalities. That is the systematic attempt to defame institutions, so that every criminal, every accused, every incompetent leader, every case lost in the judiciary is blamed at the institutions, and India as a nation is delegitimized, in which you tie up with foreign powers, in which certain leaders go abroad very often and engage with media known to be hostile to India very often. So there is a systematic plan so that the entire structure gets legitimized. Now let us come to the facts of this case. We are having a debate in which a person has been caught with 200 crores, and instead of saying why has Congress not taken action on him, instead of saying that how did he become a 3-time Rajya Sabha MP, was he legitimate an MP, whose money is this, what is the level of corruption, what is the time period of this money, is it 1 month, is it 1 year, we do not even know that. Is this much money coming in a month? Is this war chest to be used in 2024? What is the purpose of this? We are not debating that, because we have become shameless enough to justify 200 crores being caught and indulge in whataboutery. Let me end by saying, sometimes it is better to keep your mouth closed, let people imagine you are a fool, than to open your mouth and remove all doubts. 200 crores
can you justify Ajit Pawar?
At least keep quiet right now.
Can
do not give an example of Lalu Prasad Yadav, a man who's been convicted multiple times. Please do not give examples of such people who are in jail or are out on a medical bail and are misusing that.
Sanjay Jha raising his hand. Sanjay Jha, what's your defense? What's your defense on this issue?
Yeah, Navika, let me tell you straight away. I started by telling you that if you look at the election expenditure, all political parties, and I'm aware of it, I can't give you details, all political parties are up to no good, and your viewers need to know.
So to that, may I tell you, I have covered the Election Commission between 2004 and 14, and I saw no attempt being made by the pious Congress party to get election reforms in. If you didn't do it, today you can point fingers at the BJP for not doing it and not solving the election bonds issue. And Suhail said, we'll continue to hear motherhood statements all through our lives. Meanwhile, crores and crores will tumble out of Almira.
As controversial as what I'm about to say, it's very critical. The Election Commission is an absolute disgrace to India in its present avatar. It is not the job of panelists or an investigative journalist of Navika's stature to continuously monitor expenditure during elections. Are we stupid? Does any politician follow any norms of election expenditure?
Well,
we are absolutely done.
Well, those are questions which lawmakers themselves will have to decide. The Representation of People Act will have to change. The Election Commission at the moment has to depend on the local police, on the agencies provided by the government of India. What do you expect them to do? We are not even in a situation where political parties will put their head together and at least say, yes, there is corruption, let us tackle it together. And that's why people of this country continue to ask the question, itna paisa members of parliament के घरों से निकल रहा है और हम, we who choose them, what about us? And it's a valid question. When will politicians learn to respond to that? Pai kab chukaenge janta ko, as the Prime Minister said in his tweet, because janta will take the hisab. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. On the other side,